The enigmatic derelict. Zartak and Kilnera, two of the most respected archaeologists in the Galactic Federation, had been tasked with investigating a mysterious signal emanating from an uncharted region of space. The signal, an ancient distress beacon of unknown origin, had piqued the interest of the Federation's scientific community, and the two intrepid explorers were chosen to unravel its secrets. As their state-of-the-art research vessel, the Nebula's Edge, dropped out of hyperspace at the beacon's coordinates, Zartak and Kilnera were greeted by an awe-inspiring sight. Before them, silhouetted against the backdrop of a vibrant nebula, loomed a colossal derelict spacecraft. Its hull, pockmarked with the scars of countless cosmic battles, gleamed with an almost otherworldly allure. By the stars, Kilnera breathed, her eyes widening in wonder. "I've never seen a ship like this before. Its design is completely foreign to any known species in the Federation's database." Zartak nodded, his brow furrowed in concentration as he studied the readouts on the ship's scanners. "The distress beacon is definitely coming from within that vessel. But these readings don't make sense. If I'm interpreting them correctly, this ship has been adrift for 800,000 years. Kilnera gasped, the gravity of the situation sinking in. 800,000 years. That's impossible. No known civilization had achieved interstellar travel that long ago. Exactly, Zartak replied, his voice tinged with excitement. Which means we may be on the brink of a discovery that could rewrite the history of the galaxy. With a renewed sense of purpose, the two archaeologists donned their exosuits and boarded the Nebula's Edge's shuttle, determined to uncover the secrets hidden within the enigmatic derelict. As they approached the colossal vessel, the true scale of its size became apparent. The ancient ship dwarfed their shuttle, its hull stretching out before them like a metallic landscape. Kilnera expertly maneuvered the shuttle into one of the derelict's cavernous hangar bays, the shimmering blue containment field rippling as they passed through. The hangar was a testament to the passage of time. Debris, shattered remnants of long-forgotten spacecraft, littered the floor, while a thick layer of cosmic dust coated every surface. The air was thin and stale, the ship's life support systems having long since fallen into disrepair. Zartak and Kilnera disembarked from the shuttle, their exosuits' magnetic boots clanging against the hangar floor with each step. They made their way deeper into the ship, following the faint energy signature of the distress beacon. As they navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the derelict, the two archaeologists marveled at the alien architecture that surrounded them. The walls were adorned with intricate, fluid designs and eerily abandoned, as if its inhabitants had vanished without a trace. "Have you ever seen anything like this?" Kilnera asked, her voice reverberating through her exosuit's helmet. "No," Zartak replied, his eyes scanning the corridor ahead. "But there's something about it that feels familiar, like a half-remembered dream." They continued their journey, descending deeper into the heart of the derelict, until they found themselves standing before a massive, sealed door. The distress beacon signal was stronger here, pulsating with an almost desperate urgency. Zartak ran his gloved hand over the door's surface, searching for a way to open it. "If I can just find the... Ah, there it is." With a triumphant grin, he pressed a hidden panel, and the door began to slide open, centuries of disuse causing it to groan and shudder. As the door fully retracted, Zartak and Kilnera found themselves standing at the threshold of a cavernous chamber. The room was bathed in an eerie, pulsating blue light, emanating from hundreds of cylindrical objects lining the walls. Kilnera gasped, her eyes widening in disbelief. "Are those cryopods?" Zartak nodded, his heart racing with excitement. "I think so. And if I'm right, they contain the key to unraveling the mystery of this ship." They cautiously entered the chamber, their exosuits' sensors scanning the cryopods for signs of life. As they approached the nearest pod, Kilnera let out a startled cry. "Zartak, look! Inside the pod. It's a human." Zartak rushed to her side, peering through the pod's frosted glass. There, suspended in the icy embrace of Cryo-Sleep, was the unmistakable form of a human. The being's features were peaceful, as if merely slumbering, belying the unfathomable span of time that had passed since the ship's disappearance. The two archaeologists exchanged a look of profound shock and wonder. Humans, the legendary species that had vanished from the galactic stage 800,000 years ago, were here, frozen in time within the bowels of this ancient derelict. "This changes everything," Zartak whispered, his voice trembling with the weight of their discovery. "The humans, they didn't go extinct. They left. But why? And what happened to them?" Kilnera shook her head, her mind reeling with the implications. "I don't know, but one thing is certain. We have a responsibility to uncover the truth. The galaxy deserves to know what happened to the humans, and why they sacrificed everything to preserve their species in this way." Zartak nodded, his resolve hardening. "Then let's get to work. We have a civilization to resurrect, and a mystery 800,000 years in the making to solve." As the two archaeologists began their exploration of the cryo chamber, the weight of their discovery hung heavy in the air. The enigmatic derelict had yielded its first secret, but the true story of the humans and their desperate gambit for survival had only just begun to unfold. The last hope of humanity. Zartak and Kilnera stood before the cryopod containing the human they had chosen to revive. The pod's control panel glowed softly, its alien symbols a tease of the secrets it held. Zartak's fingers danced across the panel, his years of experience guiding him as he worked to decipher the ancient technology. "I think I've got it," he said, his voice tense with anticipation. "Initiating the revival sequence now." The cryopod hummed to life, the frost-covered glass slowly beginning to clear as the thawing process began. Kilnera watched in awe as the human's features became more distinct, the lines of age and worry etched into his face, a testament to the trials he must have endured. With a hiss of released pressure, the cryopod's hatch swung open, and the human stirred, his eyes fluttering as he struggled to regain consciousness. Zartak and Kilnera exchanged a glance, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The human's eyes snapped open, and he bolted upright, his gaze darting around the chamber in confusion and fear. "Where am I?" he demanded, his voice hoarse from centuries of disuse. "What's going on?" Kilnera stepped forward, her hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Please be calm. You're safe. My name is Kilnera, and this is my colleague, Zartak. We're archaeologists with the Galactic Federation." The human's eyes narrowed, his brow furrowing in confusion. "The Galactic Federation? I've never heard of it. And what do you mean, archaeologists? How long have I been out?" Zartak and Kilnera exchanged another glance, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily upon them. "Perhaps it's best if you sit down," Zartak said gently. "We have much to discuss, and I fear the answers may be difficult to hear." The human, still wary, lowered himself onto a nearby crate, his eyes never leaving the two alien archaeologists. "All right," he said, his voice guarded. "I'm listening." Kilnera took a deep breath, steeling herself for the task ahead. "First, let me ask, what is your name, and what is the last thing you remember before entering Cryo-Sleep?" The human closed his eyes, his face a mask of concentration as he struggled to recall the memories of a lifelong past. "My name is Captain James Sullivan of the United Earth Space Fleet," he said slowly. "The last thing I remember is the war. The galaxy was tearing itself apart, and we were losing. We had no choice but to flee, to find a way to preserve what was left of humanity. The cryopods were our last hope." Zartak nodded solemnly, his heart aching for the pain and desperation that Sullivan must have endured. "Captain Sullivan," he said, his voice gentle but firm, "I'm afraid that the war you speak of ended long ago. By our estimates, you and your crew have been in cryo-sleep for 800,000 years." Sullivan's eyes widened, his face draining of color as the weight of Zartak's words sank in. 800,000 years, he whispered, his voice trembling with disbelief. That's impossible. How could we have survived for so long? Kilnera placed a comforting hand on Sullivan's shoulder, her touch a gesture of solidarity and understanding. Your sacrifice, and the sacrifices of your crew, ensured that humanity would endure, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. The technology of your cryopods, though ancient by our standards, was a marvel of engineering and innovation. Sullivan shook his head, tears welling in his eyes as the magnitude of his situation began to dawn on him. So, we're all that's left. The last remnants of humanity, adrift in a galaxy that's moved on without us. Zartak and Kilnera exchanged a look of compassion, their hearts going out to the distraught human before them. Not quite, Zartak said, a note of hope creeping into his voice. You and your crew may be the last humans, but your legacy lives on. The sacrifices you made so long ago paved the way for countless species to rise from the ashes of that terrible war and build a new, more peaceful galaxy. Sullivan looked up, a flicker of hope in his eyes. So, our mission wasn't in vain. Humanity's sacrifice, it meant something. Kilnera smiled, her eyes shining with admiration and respect. It meant everything, Captain Sullivan. Your bravery and selflessness ensured that the galaxy would have a future, even if humanity's role in it was uncertain. And now, with your return, we have the opportunity to learn from your people's experiences and ensure that the mistakes of the past are never repeated. Sullivan nodded, a look of determination crossing his face. Then I suppose we have work to do. My crew and I may be relics of a bygone age, but we still have a duty to fulfill. If there's anything we can do to help, to ensure that humanity's legacy endures, then we'll do it. Zartak and Kilnera beamed, their admiration for the human captain growing by the moment. We'll be with you every step of the way, Zartak said, his voice filled with conviction. Together, we'll unravel the mysteries of your ship and your people's past, and we'll forge a new future for all species, human and alien alike. As Sullivan rose to his feet, his shoulders squared and his head held high, Zartak and Kilnera knew that they were witnessing the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history. The last hope of humanity, once thought lost to the ages, had been rekindled, and the universe would never be the same again. A brave new universe. Captain James Sullivan stood at the observation deck of the Galactic Federation's capital ship, the Celestial Harmony, his eyes wide with wonder as he gazed upon the breathtaking vista before him. The ship cruised through the heart of a vibrant nebula, its iridescent gases painting the void in swirls of purple, blue, and gold. Distant stars glimmered like diamonds against the colorful backdrop, a testament to the awe-inspiring beauty of the universe. Beside him, Zartak and Kilnera watched with quiet reverence, their own hearts swelling with pride at the sight of the human captain's awe. In the weeks since Sullivan's awakening, the two alien archaeologists had taken it upon themselves to guide him through the wonders of this new, unfamiliar galaxy. I never imagined I'd live to see anything like this, Sullivan breathed, his voice hushed with reverence. In my time, we were only just beginning to explore the stars. To think of how far we could have come, if only. His voice trailed off, a flicker of pain crossing his face as he remembered the war that had torn his people apart. Kilnera placed a comforting hand on his shoulder, her touch a gentle reminder of the support and understanding he had found in his newfound alien friends. Your people's sacrifice was not in vain, Captain Sullivan, she said softly, her voice filled with conviction. The galaxy you see before you today is a testament to the enduring spirit of life, in all its forms. Your bravery in the face of annihilation paved the way for countless species to rise from the ashes and build a new, more harmonious universe. Sullivan nodded, a small smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. I know, and I'm grateful for that. Truly. It's just hard, sometimes, to reconcile the world I knew with the one I find myself in now. So much has changed, so much has been lost. Zartak stepped forward, his eyes shining with compassion. Change is the only constant in the universe, Captain, but it is through change that we grow, that we learn to adapt and evolve. Your people, though gone, live on through the countless civilizations that rose in their wake. And now, with your return, we have the opportunity to learn from your experiences, to ensure that the mistakes of the past are never repeated. Sullivan turned to face the two archaeologists, his expression a mix of gratitude and determination. You're right. I may be a relic of a bygone age, but I still have a duty to fulfill. If there's anything I can do to help preserve humanity's legacy, to ensure that our story is not forgotten, then I'll do it. Kilnera smiled, her admiration for the human captain's resilience shining in her eyes. And we'll be with you every step of the way. The Galactic Federation is eager to learn from your people's experiences and to incorporate your knowledge into our own efforts to maintain peace and stability throughout the galaxy. Sullivan nodded, his gaze returning to the breathtaking view before him. So, what's next on our agenda? I'm eager to learn more about this brave new universe I find myself in. Zartak grinned, his excitement palpable. We have a treat in store for you, Captain. Our next stop is the Nexus, the capital world of the Galactic Federation. It's a marvel of technology and cultural diversity, a shining example of what can be achieved when disparate species come together in the spirit of cooperation and understanding. Sullivan's eyes widened, his curiosity piqued. The Nexus, it sounds incredible. I can't wait to see it for myself. As the celestial harmony charted a course for the Nexus, Sullivan found himself reflecting on the extraordinary journey that had brought him to this moment. From the desperate, last-ditch efforts to preserve humanity in the face of annihilation, to his awakening in a galaxy transformed by the passage of eons, his life had become a tapestry of wonder, tragedy, and unbridled potential. He knew that the road ahead would be challenging, that the weight of his people's legacy would be a heavy burden to bear. But with the support of his newfound alien allies and the knowledge that humanity's sacrifice had not been in vain, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a deep-seated conviction that he could make a difference in this strange new universe. As the ship hurtled through the cosmos, Sullivan found himself marveling at the incredible diversity of life that surrounded him. From the elegant bioluminescent Zartak to the fierce, warrior-like Kilnera, the aliens he had encountered so far were a testament to the boundless wonders of the universe. And as he looked to the future, to the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead, Sullivan knew that he was ready to embrace his role as an ambassador for humanity, to carry the torch of his species' legacy into the great unknown. For though the universe had changed beyond recognition in the eons since his people's passing, one thing remained constant: the indomitable spirit of the human race, and its unwavering commitment to exploration, discovery, and the betterment of all life, no matter the cost. With a smile on his face and a fire in his heart, Captain James Sullivan prepared to embark on the greatest adventure of his life, ready to leave his mark on a galaxy that had long since forgotten the name of Earth, but would forever remember the courage and sacrifice of its people. The weight of a legacy. Captain James Sullivan stood before the rows of cryopods, his heart heavy with the weight of the responsibility that lay before him. In the days since his arrival on the Nexus, the capital world of the Galactic Federation, he had thrown himself into the monumental task of reviving his fellow humans, of rebuilding the once-lost civilization that had been entrusted to his care. Beside him, Zartak and Kilnera worked tirelessly, their expertise in xenorchaeology and advanced technology proving invaluable in the delicate process of awakening the slumbering crew. The two alien archaeologists had become more than just allies to Sullivan. They had become friends, confidants, and partners in the daunting endeavor that lay ahead. As the first of the cryopods hissed open, its occupants stirring groggily from their centuries-long slumber, Sullivan felt a rush of emotions surge through him. Joy at the sight of another human face, alive and well after so long. Fear at the thought of the challenges and uncertainties that awaited them, and a deep, abiding sense of responsibility, the weight of his people's legacy pressing down upon his shoulders like a physical force. "Easy there," he said softly, helping the disoriented crew member to their feet. "You're safe. I'm Captain James Sullivan, and these are my friends, Zartak and Kilnera. We're here to help you adjust to everything." The crew member blinked, their eyes struggling to focus in the bright light of the awakening chamber. "Captain Sullivan," they said, their voice hoarse from disuse. "What happened? Where are we?" Sullivan exchanged a glance with Zartak and Kilnera, the weight of the truth heavy on his tongue. "It's a long story," he said gently, "and one that may be difficult to hear. But know this, you are not alone, and we will do everything in our power to help you navigate this new reality." As the hours turned into days, and more of the crew were revived from their cryo-sleep, Sullivan found himself grappling with the enormity of the task before him. Not only did he have to help his fellow humans come to terms with the loss of their old lives and the strange new universe they found themselves in, but he also had to begin the daunting process of rebuilding human civilization from the ground up. It was a task that would have been impossible without the help of his alien allies. Zartak and Kilnera worked tirelessly to secure resources and support from the Galactic Federation, their impassioned pleas on behalf of humanity's plight swaying even the most skeptical of bureaucrats. The Nexus became a hive of activity, as some of the brightest minds in the galaxy came together to aid in the restoration of Earth's lost children. But even as the fledgling human colony began to take shape, Sullivan could sense an undercurrent of unease among his people. Many struggled to come to terms with the idea that they were now essentially refugees, dependent on the goodwill of alien species for their very survival. Others grappled with the philosophical and existential questions raised by their newfound status as living relics, the last remnants of a once proud civilization. As the weight of his responsibilities threatened to overwhelm him, Sullivan found solace in the unwavering support of his alien friends. Zartak and Kilnera were always there, ready to lend an ear or offer words of encouragement when the burden became too heavy to bear alone. Together, they worked to weave the threads of human knowledge and culture into the tapestry of the Galactic Federation, to ensure that humanity's legacy would endure, even as they forged a new path in an unfamiliar cosmos. And slowly but surely, the human colony began to thrive. Under Sullivan's leadership, and with the invaluable aid of their alien allies, the humans of the Nexus started to carve out a new identity for themselves, one that honored the sacrifices of their ancestors while embracing the boundless potential of the future. They developed new technologies, blending the ancient knowledge of Earth with the cutting-edge advancements of the Galactic Federation. They forged new alliances, learning from the diverse array of species that called the galaxy home. And they began to explore the wonders of the universe anew, their spirit of curiosity and adventure reignited after centuries of dormancy. Through it all, Captain James Sullivan remained a beacon of hope and resilience for his people. He bore the weight of his legacy with grace and determination, never wavering in his commitment to rebuilding humanity's place in the cosmos. And as he looked out over the thriving human colony, the glimmering spires of the Nexus rising in the distance, he knew that the sacrifices of his ancestors had not been in vain. For though the universe had changed beyond recognition, and the path ahead was fraught with challenges and uncertainties, one thing remained constant: the indomitable spirit of the human race, and its unwavering determination to leave its mark on the infinite canvas of the stars. With a smile on his face and a fire in his heart, Captain James Sullivan turned to face the future, ready to lead his people into a new era of discovery, wonder, and endless possibility. The weight of his legacy would always be with him, but he bore it gladly, knowing that it was a burden that had been forged in the crucible of sacrifice and tempered by the unbreakable bonds of friendship and unity that now held the galaxy together. The dawn of a new era. The sun rose over the shimmering spires of New Earth, the first rays of light casting a warm glow across the thriving human colony. In the years since their awakening on the Nexus, Captain James Sullivan and his fellow survivors had worked tirelessly to build a new home for themselves, a beacon of hope and resilience in a galaxy that had long since forgotten the name of their ancestral world. As Sullivan made his way through the bustling streets of the colony, he couldn't help but marvel at the incredible progress they had made. The once barren landscape was now a verdant oasis, teeming with life and energy. Human ingenuity and determination, combined with the advanced technologies of their alien allies, had transformed this once desolate world into a shining example of what could be achieved when disparate cultures work together in harmony. He paused before a towering monument, a sleek obelisk of gleaming metal that stood at the heart of the colony. Etched into its surface were the names of the brave men and women who had sacrificed everything to ensure humanity's survival, a testament to the enduring legacy of Earth and its people. Sullivan ran his fingers over the smooth metal, his heart swelling with pride and gratitude for the courage and foresight of his ancestors. As he continued his walk, Sullivan found himself reflecting on the incredible journey that had brought them to this moment. From the desperate, last-ditch efforts to preserve humanity in the face of annihilation, to their awakening in a galaxy transformed by the passage of eons, the path had been fraught with challenges and uncertainties. But through it all, the indomitable spirit of the human race had endured, adapting and evolving to meet the demands of an ever-changing universe. He thought of Zartak and Kilnera, the alien archaeologists who had become his closest friends and allies. Their unwavering support and guidance had been instrumental in helping humanity find its place in this new, unfamiliar cosmos. Together, they had forged unbreakable bonds of friendship and cooperation, a shining example of what could be achieved when different species came together in the spirit of unity and understanding. As Sullivan entered the towering hall of the New Earth Council, he was greeted by a sea of familiar faces. Representatives from a dozen different alien races, each with their own unique cultures and traditions, sat side by side with human leaders, united in their commitment to maintaining peace and prosperity throughout the galaxy. At the center of the room stood Zartak and Kilnera, their faces beaming with pride as they caught sight of Sullivan. The human captain made his way towards them, his heart swelling with emotion as he thought of all they had accomplished together. "My friends," he said, his voice thick with gratitude, "I cannot begin to express how much your support has meant to us. Without your guidance and wisdom, we would never have made it this far." Zartak clasped Sullivan's hand in his own, his eyes shining with admiration. "It is we who should be thanking you, Captain Sullivan. Your people's bravery and resilience have been an inspiration to us all. You have shown us that even in the face of unimaginable adversity, light will always find a way to endure and thrive." Kilnera nodded in agreement, her voice filled with conviction. "Humanity's legacy will forever be remembered as one of courage, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. Your story will be told across the stars, a beacon of hope for generations to come." As Sullivan took his seat at the council table, he felt a profound sense of purpose wash over him. The weight of his legacy, once a burden almost too heavy to bear, now felt like a source of strength and inspiration. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy, that there would be new challenges and obstacles to overcome. But he also knew that humanity would face these trials as they always had, with courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. And as he looked around the room, at the faces of his alien allies and human companions, Sullivan knew that they would face these challenges together. For in this brave new universe, where the boundaries of what was possible had been shattered and reforged, the true strength of any civilization lay not in its technological prowess or military might, but in the unbreakable bonds of friendship and unity that held it together. With a nod to his fellow council members, Captain James Sullivan called the meeting to order, ready to begin the next chapter in humanity's extraordinary journey. The sun rose higher in the sky, casting its light over the gleaming spires of New Earth, a symbol of hope and promise for all who called this world home. And as the council deliberated, discussing matters of trade and diplomacy, exploration and discovery, Sullivan found himself filled with a profound sense of optimism for the future. For though the universe had changed beyond recognition, and the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, One thing remained constant: the unwavering determination of the human spirit and its ability to adapt, evolve, and flourish in even the most challenging of circumstances. With a smile on his face and a fire in his heart, Captain James Sullivan looked to the stars above, ready to embrace the dawn of a new era, an age of wonder, discovery, and endless possibility. The legacy of humanity would endure, not as a relic of a bygone age, but as a living, breathing testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that had refused to surrender, even in the face of oblivion. And as the council adjourned, Sullivan knew that this was only the beginning. For in this brave new universe, where the only limits were those of the imagination, humanity would continue to reach for the stars, to push the boundaries of what was possible, and to leave an indelible mark on the infinite canvas of the cosmos.